All right, hi, this is Eileen Fernandez-Parker from Cultivating the Learning. In this last section, we're going to be taking our learning targets and we're going to be turning them into a proficiency scale so that students who are not at mastery can figure out where they are on the scale, and they can ask for help, they can be given help, and they can plan an attack for how to figure it out. So let's get started. Okay. So when we finished last, we finished our learning targets here. And what we're going to need to do, because this is what shows mastery, I can copy this and I can paste it here. And now I'm going to show you how Google Drawing is so versatile. So you can see down here that I've gone beyond my text box, but I've also gone off the page. So what I want to show you is, if I click, I can click in the margin or I can click in any white space. Over here in the bottom right hand corner is this little grippy, and I can grab that and I can drag it down so that it now is the right size that I need. And I love this for lesson planning, because when does a lesson actually ever turn out exactly like another lesson, right? So templates are really hard to use, so I really like this. Now, I have all this space over here as well. So these cells right here, these are actually text boxes. It's not a table, it's set up to look like a table. So I select all four of them, and when I move one, they move together and they still stay aligned. And now all I need to do is drag this down a little bit, and now I have all the room that I need. Okay, so now we've got our template so it fits our needs. We have level 3 here, everything that is needed to be done to show mastery. Now, how do you get to a level 2 and a level 1? Well, this is how I think of it. Level 1 is usually either that I can define the vocabulary, but I'm not really sure how to apply it, right? Or it could be that I can do it with assistance. So level 1 is going to be that I can define all of the necessary vocab terms for this standard. And it can also be, I can, complete some of the tasks with assistance or written directions. So I can follow directions, but I can't do it independently, right? This is a really simple way to simplify level 1. Now, a student shouldn't be staying at level 1 the whole time. So when you give that pre-test, you're going to have these vocab terms on there, and you're going to see how much he or she knows. This is where they might be, right? So for level 2 is going to be where kids land before they get to level 3. So level 2 is you're almost there. So I can group figures or shape that I see and identify whether it has or does not have parallel and perpendicular lines. So a student might, and this is all flexible, right? The first time you do it, expect not to be perfect. It can, if you haven't taught this before, it's totally a guessing game, right? If you have taught it before, then you will remember, oh, I had Johnny, and I remember Johnny couldn't get to 3, and this is what he looked like. This is where he was stuck. So it might be that I can recognize parallel lines. I can recognize perpendicular lines. I can recognize acute and obtuse angles, and it might be that I can recognize just all triangles and rectangles from one another. But I'm not able to prove why I think it's a right triangle. Okay? So maybe I can recognize a right triangle, but I can't prove that it's a right triangle, right? I can recognize rectangles, but I can't necessarily prove that it's a rectangle, right? How do I know it's a perfect rectangle? It might look like a rectangle, but what if that one line is off by 1 degree? Is it still a rectangle? So this is where your level 2 is. Your level 4 is going to be using this information in some unique way. So it might be I can apply my knowledge of rectangles, triangles, shapes, parallel and perpendicular lines, and acute, obtuse, and right triangles in some new and unique way. You might also say, I can find real life applications for the information in a level 3. Oh, and one thing that I forgot. I can do everything in a level 3, or it should be at a level 3. Okay, so now notice nothing in here says what I cannot do. That is super important. Everything here says what I can do. If I can do half of a level 1, that's actually a 0.5. To be able to say I'm at a level 1, you have to be able to do everything that is in a level 1. If you can do all of level 1 and 3 of 2, you're not at a level 2 yet. You're at a level 1. Some schools and districts do 0.5s so that a student can see growth, I'm assuming, and so that they have something to work for, because it can be very disheartening if you're just stuck at a level 1. So we want to give them something. So you can do 0.5s if you feel the need, but you should be in agreement that if there are 6, 3 have to be done to be considered a 0.5. Make sure that it's standardized across grade level and across schools, etc. So now what you've got is your standard broken down with your vocab, with your kid-friendly language, with your learning targets, and now you have a proficiency scale. The proficiency scale enables students to grade themselves. It enables students to sit side by side and help one another. It enables students to decide when he or she is ready to be assessed, because there's power. It's very empowering, right? For a student to be deciding, I can do this. I'm ready. I'm ready. or to put all the work together in a portfolio and say, I want to submit my artifacts to prove to you that I am at a level 3, that I've mastered this. All right, so this template is simple and doable. It's something that you could do if you are an admin. This is something that you would want to walk your teams through in their department meetings, if they're grade level meetings. If you're the grade level lead, this would be a fantastic place to start with breaking down the standards, unpacking them, dissecting them, call it whatever you want. But these are the steps that are working. They are definitely working.